Hello there, my loves, and welcome once more to another book haul. Now, this one is going to be comprised of primarily fantasy today and a little bit of science fiction. We have the bells in the background. We also have a brew on the go. We've got this nice can of Pilsner here, left by my brother the last time he was down here. I'm assuming it was an accident, but Mitch, I'm afraid I'm drinking the fucker. Apologies. And no satanic mushrooms or candles today. I thought I'd change it today because I don't want to be scanning all of these books. There's so many of them. So I thought I'd do them direct to camera. The best camera I've got is my phone, as it's probably the same case for everyone else, isn't it? Anyway, let's begin with the science fiction. Just a small assortment today, 5 books I think. Lion's share will be fantasy, of which I know very little. These titles, you'll have to tell me if any of them are worth reading. Anyway, the first one is this. John Brunner's The Atlantic Abomination. Now, this is a book that I've purchased because I'm doing a collaborative book club thing next month. I'll give you some details about that that's coming up. But some American chums over in America, other fellow science fiction fantasy booktube fellows, we're all getting together and we're going to be reading this one and seeing what it's all about. Unfortunately, this isn't the cover I wanted. As this often happens, of course, they advertise a particular cover and then you get a very different one. There's an alternative version to this cover which is superior in every single way, but there we are, I got this one, which is quite nice, I suppose. This is actually an American publication, but interestingly, look, if we got in the front there, we've got various daubings going on. Sorry, I don't know which bloody camera. This is the lens, isn't it? I'm not used to doing this. But it says here, Fads and Fancies, stalls 142 and 143, Birmingham Flea Market. That's where this one's from. 30 pence paid, 20 pence refunded. So someone got it and they didn't like it and they sent it back. Doesn't bode well for our little reading we're going to be doing. And there's another one here, a stamp here, Reader's World, Gloucestershire Street, again, Birmingham. Interesting. I'm not going to sniff them today either because I've got so many bastards to go through, but I will sniff this one being the first one. Well, yes, of course it is. Fucking wood, motherfucker. Apologies if you've never seen me do this before. I do sniff books occasionally. Right, now this, I think this might have been a recommendation from Christian, who put me on to a bit of Harry Harrison. Plague from Space was the last one. But it might have been you, Chris, or someone else. But anyway, it recommended the Deaf World trilogy, which I've got here. Again, I'm slightly annoyed because they should have all been of this series here, which have fantastic illustrations on the covers. That's a wonderful one, I think you'll agree. Some chap brandishing a mace and various skullduggery going on in the background, kind of like a western almost. Anyway, that's the third book of the Deaf World series. The second one is completely bonkers. I've never come across this particular one before. I do quite like it, but it's all odds and ends really. And the first one looks like this. Looks like Cyclops from the X-Men. I don't know anything about these. I won't read the blurbs today just because I don't think I'll have the time, but what's it about? I'll read the blurb of the first one. How about that? Okay, the planet was called Pyrus, a strange place where all the beasts, plants and natural elements were designed for one specific purpose: to destroy man. The settlers there were supermen, twice as strong as ordinary men and with millisecond reflexes. They had to be, for their business was murder. It was up to Jason Dinault, interplanetary gambler, to discover why Pyrus had become so hostile during man's brief habitation. Hard to put down, new scientist. It sounds good. It does sound good. Let me know if you've read it, if you want me to fucking read it. Apologies, I'm slightly off my tits today. I haven't been drinking, I'm just a bit hepped up. Fine brew, fine brew. Okay, right, apologies coming here. I don't remember who recommended this, but I take recommendations very seriously on this channel. But someone recommended this. Recursion by Blake Crouch. Let me know who you are, because I haven't had time to go back through the videos. It's not you, is it, Nucky? Nucky Nelson? I don't think it is. But anyway, this was after I was asking for suggestions for time travel related stuff. Apparently this is quite mind-bending. I'm going to read this, and also it's this illustration here, you probably can't see it very clearly, but it looks like one of those, it's like a fractal zoom, but in using imagery in that fashion to endlessly regress into different dimensions. Excuse me. I'm going to read the blurb for this one. Okay, what if someone could rewrite your entire life? At first it looks like a disease, an epidemic that spreads through no known means, driving its victims mad with memories of a life they never lived. But the force that's sweeping the world is no pathogen. It's just the first shockwave unleashed by a stunning discovery. And what's in jeopardy is not just our minds. In New York City, Detective Barry Sutton is closing in on the truth, and in a remote laboratory, neuroscientist Helena Smith is unaware that she alone holds the key to this mystery and the tools for fighting back. Together, Barry and Helena will have to confront their enemy before they and the world are trapped in a loop of ever-growing chaos. Sounds fucking brilliant. Unfortunately, the last person who read this, they only made it to page 14. Doesn't bode well, my loves, but I'm sure we'll get further than that. Anyway, there we are, regression. On to the fantasy fair. Do you like my little area here? It's all various books that I've got in my bookcase as usual, but I've also got some little oddments that have come my way recently from my friend over in Japan. Known him for over 20 years, and he sent me some gifts to celebrate mine and Vanessa's wedding. One of them is this one here. It's called Akabeko. It's a red cow, it roughly translates to, and it actually brings good luck in the home setting. And it also has this very disturbing head that moves around. But there we are, yes. Hopefully it'll bring us luck, my loves. Anyway, let's get on with it. I'll go through these relatively quickly. I probably won't read the blurbs of all of them because there's so many. We've got loads to get through here. Okay, the first one is by Jane Gaskell, and it's The City. Now, I did a bit of research for this because I was hoping to source the other two books. This is a trilogy. So the other ones are The Serpent and Atlan. I really love this cover. Now, buying the next two books will be quite costly, it would seem. They're quite expensive. But yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm getting a whiff off this right off the bat. Oh, hell. Burnt wood. I'm going to read the blurb of this because I think this could be worth a perusal. Before the dawn of history, Sija, the young estranged wife of the Emperor Zerd, is sold as a slave. She finds herself in a nightmare country ruled by hooded priests, where the heads of blasphemers are exposed on pikes and children are fed to the alligators of an evil witch. She escapes only to be captured and fattened as food for the children of a tribe of primitive ape men, one of whom takes her as his own. Bonkers, absolutely bonkers, but yeah, I'm up for that. What do you think? Anyone read that? I'll probably get the other two books just because I love completing sets of books, even if I'll never read them. Okay, the next one. Never heard of this. Okay, Fongor of Lemuria by Lynn Carter. Okay, so my brother got me this. I don't know if I've already said that. I will repeat myself properly on this one. But yeah, Mark the Blade got these for my Christmas present. And it was just a big job lot. So there's lots of incomplete series and standalone novels, things like that. This is book 2 of the Fongor series, it would seem. Don't know anything about it. Quite a nice cover with this chap wearing a winged helmet. No idea what it's about. I'm not going to read the blurb. So there. Okay, now we've got a couple of David Eddings here. Book 1 and Book 3 of the Belgariad. Check them out. Now, yes, you probably all know this, but David Eddings was a bit putting it, saying he was naughty is putting it lightly, but him and his wife were done for child abuse back in the day. Apparently keeping their children in cages or something like that. I don't know the details. Pretty bloody awful, but whenever David Eddings is mentioned on any book forums, he's very quickly given short shrift by people for that reason. Interesting conundrum. Should you separate the art from the artist and all of that? I've never read any of David Eddings, but the Belgariad is supposed to be very good. I've got 2 in this haul, and I think I've got some others in my book chest. So I may have the complete series somewhere, which I may or may not read one day. I haven't got many years left ahead of me, probably, being the age that I am. Okay, so the next one, I believe, is a complete series. So these are all by Simon Finch. Okay, so look at this one here. This is the first one. So this was Golden Voyager. So I'm thinking, published by Pan, I'm thinking this is something of a similar ilk to the Gore series by John Norman, but I don't know anything about it. I think this illustration is by Frank, what's he called? Can't remember his name. Famous artist in fantasy circles. It'll come to me later. I've come across this image before. Quite wonderful, actually. So there's that one. We've also got, this is the 3rd installment here. What is this? Voyager in Bondage. There we are. Quite nice again. I mean, that could be Boris Vallejo. It is. I'm on it today. Except I couldn't remember the other chap's name. And this must be Boris Vallejo. This is Pagan Voyager. So the Voyager series, I've never heard of these before. Have any of you? Yeah, this is Boris Vallejo as well. But the wily Despo's sister of the fated Miranda, out to grab as much gold and sex as she can. Okay, this might be worth reading, my lads. Okay, there's those. The one thing I would say about this illustration, it's been bugging me ever since I've started looking at it. If you look at the skin of this girl here, she is naked, pretty much naked, I would say. But the texture of the skin is like leather or perhaps the hide of an animal. I don't know if that's intentional or whether that's a mistake, but there we are. I'm being a bit critical there of Frank, whoever he's called. It'll come to me. It probably won't. Okay, the next one is Robin Hobb. Shaman's Crossing. Book 1 of the Soldier Sun trilogy. I've never read any Hobb. Never, myself. I did hear... Oh, it's got a nice map there on the first page there. This smells, actually... Whew. Yeah, that's an old leaf. Potent. I heard that Robin Hobb, I'm assuming this is a woman that's written these, but Robin obviously is it can be for men and women, obviously. But the author, I think, has developed arthritis due to overworking. Arthritis in the hands and fingers. Is that true, or have I dreamt that? Sometimes I dream stuff and say, pass it off as reality. Okay, Piers Anthony, got some books of his, never read any of them. I think he used to write science fiction as well. Rock and a Hard Place, this one's called. Bloody great hardback edition. Never heard of this, but really love the cover. Really love this illustration, the colours especially. Wonderful. Unfortunately, the spine does have some sun damage there. But look at those colours. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful. No idea what it's about. Perhaps you can tell me. Okay, what's this about being the defendant? Grundy translated, she says she hasn't done anything wrong. In fact, she hasn't been out of this room for almost 600 years and has guarded the egg faithfully throughout. Is this a cruel hoax, demon smoke? All that with one squawk, Petria asked, bemused. Those were her exact words. Well, I sanitized what she called you. Okay, that's all we've got to go by on the back of it. Yeah, intriguing cover. It's probably part of a series of 20 odd books or something. That's one thing that always puts me off reading fantasy, is that tendency for it to be very long-winded affairs. Right, got a great big bag full of other stuff here, so I'm going to have to start whipping these out pretty quick. Look at this fella. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Oh dear. This is by Stephen Arthur, and it's called Lawhead. Now, check out this cover. Quite an imposing figure. Even more imposing when you take a slightly more closer look at his head. Look how long this bloody head is. Look. The top of his head must be up here somewhere. I know the eyes are normally roughly halfway between the chin and the top of the head, but I think he's had his head in a vice or something. Okay, this is the third book of the Pendragon cycle. Yep, know nothing about it. Quite a wedge though. A lot of words in there to get through. Will I read it? You never know. Oh, hello there. Right. Well, I'll be darned. We got some Brian Aldiss here. Now, I only know of Brian Aldiss for his science fiction. I don't know if this is still science fiction. Perhaps it is. Seasons in Flight. It has the appearance of a fantasy novel. Well, a bit of naughtiness here. Look at this. Okay, so we have some reclining young people here. Young chap, a couple of young ladies. But look at their legs. What's going on there? Are they like fawns or something? Yeah, I think so. It looks very odd. But anyway, let's have a look. Right. The troubled priest and the boy were rowed across the lake, waiting for the Americans to come from their flattened world. Why Igor found it too hard being the mayor of Kakajaku, the fair prince who set the slaves free, and what happened next, the unhappy fate of a poor translator on Heliconia. Does that make sense? I don't know, but I like the cover. Love the cover. Quite lovely. I might read that if it's a standalone novel. Got a bit of titty. Be careful. Beware. Ward yourselves, my loves. The Warrior Within by Sharon Green. Luckily, she's got some golden nipple covers on there to protect her modesty. Just a little. So yeah, formidable woman there, and quite a hench fucking warrior in the background there. I'm fearing for her safety, but something tells me she can hold her own. But anyway, interesting. We've got a vestige of a price tag on the back. A world as vital and magnificent as John Norman's gore. This looks like remaindered stock. Someone's punched a hole in the back of the swine. Published by Star. I'm wondering whether... I don't think Star... Did they publish John Norman novels? Because they're trying to big up the gore novels there. So basically, if you're a bit of a pervert and you like John Norman gore books, this book may be for you. But yeah, quite a nice cover. There we are, Warrior Within. I think my brother may have selected a number of titles here that have a fair amount of bosom upon them. Okay, the next one is The Amazons of Somolon. Somolon? By Raymond Kaminsky. Okay, we've got some cavorting warriors here, or a warrior woman. We've got a strange... dodgy-looking wizard up in the clouds, and a young man who appears to have just shit himself. Never heard of this. The world had gone to sleep, and the nightmare Horlas raged. Okay, there's about a female warrior by the looks of it. No hidden banknotes, but yeah, never heard of it. Right, oh, look at this one. Right, this, oh shit. It's been damaged slightly. Now, this looks intriguing. Jane Gaskell again. Atlan. Okay, right. Unbeknownst to me, we have the third book of this one. This, The City. We've also got Atlan, but a fucking ancient copy. Hardback. Excuse me. The dust jacket has perished considerably. This is an ex-library book here. The last stamp here, or the only stamp in the book, is the 22nd of December 1987. You probably can't see that. Can you see the ghost of that there? So yes, this was taken out by one person and never read again by anyone. That doesn't bode well, does it? There's fairly high chances here of finding some secret treasure map or something, but no. Up in the last page here, we've got the capital letter A that's been scrawled there by someone, and also KB that's been written in biro. Quite a sorry looking book, I would say, but the illustration is nice. It's interesting. It's very angular. And for an illustration that harks back to the 80s, I assume, my goodness, 1977 more like. Yeah, it's got something about it, that illustration. I quite like it. It's got some energy about it. But yeah, I don't know if I'll read that or not. I prefer the other cover. Oh my goodness. Okay, author of the mega-selling Dragon Prince trilogy, Melanie Rawn, and this is Sky Bowl, Dragon Star book 3. So I'm assuming the third book of the trilogy. Wonderful illustration. Who's this by? Will it tell us? Michael Whalen. Yeah, I thought it does look a bit like him. Very polished. Very polished. Wonderful. Oh, and there's the author there. Okay. Her hair does look like the tip of a penis, though. But we won't hold that against her. Okay, this is a sizable volume indeed. It's got a map, thank God. Okay. Nothing too interesting going on there, though. But it's a nice map. It's a nice map. Okay, yeah. Will I ever read that? Probably not. You never know, you never know. I just wish I could read quicker, or, you know, I would get more. Oh my goodness, we've got another fucking Fonga. Fonga at the end of time. So we've got another one of this winged helmet chap. It's got the look of, I don't know, it looks Aztec perhaps? I don't know. Anyway, we've got another Fong book. Okay, the Forsaken Hero. This cover looks very odd indeed. Sterling E. Lanier. Check this out. The hell's going on there? Now, I'm always suspicious of moustaches. I don't know about you, my loves, but a moustache on a barbarian warrior? I don't think so. I mean, sorry, I can't get it in. Look at him. It's not, there you go. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? The barbaric lifestyle of a warrior. Does such a man have time to trim his moustache? I don't think so. Although we have got a map that appears to have taken someone about 5 seconds to make. I'm being a bit cruel there, but it's nothing special, is it? Okay. No idea. Right, what else have we got here? Okay, we've got some Forgotten Realms books here. Now, I think I've come across this before. The covers are moribund, I would say, to say the least. Siege of Darkness and Passage to Dawn. Has anyone read any of these? These were $5.99 when purchased. I don't know if these have been read. The spines are immaculate. Both by R.A. Salvatore. Salvatore, not sure. No maps. Anyway, there's those. Okay, this is the only copy I've got. This, well, I had this book and then I sold it because I thought I'll never read it, so I will be selling this one or just giving it away. Julian May's The Many-Coloured Land. I don't know if any of you remember that. I had a couple of those books. Not that bothered about the cover design personally, but there we are. Oh, that looks interesting. We've got the first book of The Horse Clans, The Coming of the Horse Clans by Robert Adams. A couple of warriors there. Quite a fine female warrior there. And quite a handsome young man beside her. Okay. A proud, barbarous people in a world where ancient science and arcane mysteries exist side by side, where violence and sudden death are ever present. Well, that could be said of our existence as well, perhaps. But there we are, The Horse Clans. Now, look at this one. This is by C.J. Cherry. Cherry? Yeah, I think it's Cherry. The Goblin Warrior. Now, on first impressions, I thought this was quite an arresting cover, but the more you look at it, the more you realise it's nothing special. I don't think it's anything special, personally. Bruce Pennington, no less. Well, I'll be darned. I don't think that took him very long. Let's just say that was probably a rush job. Any maps? No. The first page has been torn out. Arcane spell, perhaps. Someone's dated this February of '94. Withdrawn from a library, Wiltshire. Somewhere Wiltshire. This is an ex-library book. Okay. The Goblin Warrior. What else have we got here? They just keep coming, my loves. Ah, right. Okay. Right, I've had those before. Oh, hello. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Ah, I thought there's something hiding in the book. Okay, so this is Tanith. Tanith by Lee Ancuria. Anakia. Long-awaited sequel to The Stormlord. Okay, so this looks like a Hindu god here. And a reclining nude. No, she's wearing a medieval bikini. Okay. No, I don't know anything about this. Do you? Let me know. Apparently there's 5 books. One of them. Anyway. Got loads of books here. Okay, the last 2 are books that I've read, but I no longer possess. And these are Stephen Donaldson novels. So we've got The Ill-Earth War and Lord Fowl's Bane. I think those are both from the first trilogy, the Thomas Covenant trilogy, number 2 and number 1. I think it is. Comparable to Tolkien at his best. In other words, slightly ripped off Tolkien, really, but it is quite different to Tolkien, but there are lots of similarities. These illustrations are quite well known if you read the Thomas Covenant books, the older ones. Yeah, Lord Fowl's Bane, I think, is the first novel. This was purchased. It's got a £4.90 tag on the back. O'Mahony from Limerick in Ireland. Okay. I might keep these because I had the omnibus editions and they were fucking huge. So it's nice to have slightly smaller versions. But there we are. That's all of it, my loves. Yeah. What do you think? Is there anything there worth reading? My initial impressions are that I want to read some of those, the Deaf World ones. Definitely want to read The Warrior Within. I don't know why. And the oldest one, Brian Oldest one. So the only thing I've read Non-Stop by him, and what was the other one? Hot House. And that artist was Frank Zavata. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm butchering it, but yeah, he did the cover of that other dodgy one. Yeah, we've got some interesting books there today. I'd hazard a guess. I don't know how many we've done. over 20, I would say, but there we are. The gift that keeps on giving, these book hauls. Apologies, it's always a bit ropey. I haven't sniffed as much today. And I like getting deep down into those books. I want to take you inside the books, sniff the living daylights out of them, but we can't really do that very easily in this view. But there we are. This is what we've got today. Thank you for watching. And if all goes well, I'll be with you next week for something else. Who knows what it will be? But anyway, cheers and cheerio.